Warning. Because Emily in Paris is a very unique show, I had to use a completely different method to finish watching all 2 seasons. After completing the first episode and realizing what I'm in for, I decided to play the entire show on my phone. And at the same time, I watched the show Arcane on my TV. So technically, I did watch all of Emily in Paris, I just wasn't paying attention to anything that was said. This was done because Emily in Paris is, like I said, a very unique show, and that it falls under the category of complete garbage.
Expensive sex.
Excuse me?
That's what it smells like to me.
Thanks, this is the best day of my life. I'm killing myself tomorrow.
Just a quick note, I wanted to say that I somehow managed to convince 1,000 people to click on the red button and join my red button club. So if you haven't joined yet, click on that big red beautiful button and join the club. We got free virtual food, free internet, and anyone that clicks on it today automatically gets 5 free internet points. But seriously, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, I really appreciate it, and let's get on with the video. Emily in Paris shouldn't have gotten the attention that it did. Although I haven't finished it and I don't plan to, the show is bland, kinda boring, and doesn't do anything new.
I have a rule. If I go home with the girl and she doesn't have her own books, I cannot make love to her.
Although some people do enjoy the show, it became the show that was fun to hate watch. And I think it all started with the YouTuber Friendly Space Ninja, who for me has automatically won the award of best name on YouTube. He posted a video entitled Emily in Paris Romanticizing Ignorance 11 months ago, and talked about his perspective as a French guy watching the show, which takes place in Paris. His unique take on the show and the video itself just being very entertaining to watch skyrocketed the video, which is now at 7 million views. And I really do think it's because of this video that people started paying a lot of attention to Emily in Paris, which kickstarted the show's trend of being the show to hate watch. People would literally watch this show to tweet about how much they hate it. And one of the funniest things about the show is Emily has this ability to post basic white girl selfies on Instagram and gain thousands of followers with like no effort. Like, how is this stuff even getting followers? Is that a baguette? Oh my god! Here's an idea for Netflix. They should take the character of Emily and use her to make a YouTube channel that sells overpriced social media courses. I know I called the show garbage earlier, but the show isn't really that bad. It's not good, it's just bland, uninteresting, and uninspired. Watching Emily in Paris is like eating generic pizza. No one intentionally buys generic pizza, you just sort of end up doing it. And then you hate yourself after you're done. But what is this show even about? Emily in Paris is a show about Emily, who is now in Paris. Emily works at a marketing firm in Chicago as a social media whiz and ends up moving to Paris to bring an American perspective to our French marketing firm. America, fuck yeah! When the show starts off, everyone hates her and she has a lot of trouble fitting in and relating to people.
Nice having you get to know me. Your name, monsieur?
My name is Luke.
Yes, Luke.
Why are you shouting?
I initially related to the character because of my experience moving from the Middle East to Canada. It's a huge lifestyle change, and the first place your mind goes to when you experience something different and uncomfortable is, I don't think I fit here and I want to go back home.
It's like up is down. I'll never learn the language or understand anything here. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this city. You know, I thought it was going to be an adventure.
The show has an interesting premise that's filled with a lot of opportunities for comedy, but the problem isn't so much the premise, it's more so the writing. What the show could have been is American Girl Goes to Paris, Comedy Ensues, where it's about all these funny, knee-slapping moments as an American girl tries to adjust to French culture, as well as go on all sorts of interesting and wacky adventures along the way. What actually happens is a lot more uninteresting. The story is more about she slept with him, he slept with her, love triangles, etc. I mean, this show clearly found its audience that loves that kind of stuff, but personally, I'm not a fan. But it doesn't matter at all what I think, because I'm not the target market for this show, since Netflix just greenlit a 3rd and 4th season.
You serious?
For me, the show succeeds in one thing. Darren Star is also the creator behind Sex and the City, which is one of the biggest shows out there.
Is it okay to fuck one guy when you're pregnant with another guy's baby?
I used to watch the hell out of that show back in my teen years. And just like Sex and the City made me wish I lived in Manhattan, Emily in Paris sells you on the fantasy of living in Paris. Emily is surrounded by beautiful scenery, beautiful people, delicious food, and it's the kind of lifestyle a lot of people want to have. Who doesn't want that? Even more so now with a lot of people living in certain parts of the world that have nonsensical restrictions that don't allow them to do the things they love. There's a sense of escapism that I experienced from watching Emily in Paris. It feels like a real world that you could experience, and you sort of live through Emily, being in a whole new city and temporarily forget about your boring life. The reality of Paris, though, is not as glamorous as we think it is.
Paris is not a romantic city. When you live there, there's not much that's romantic about it.
It is nothing like living in Paris. It's very easy for your friends at home to think like, you live in Paris, how glamorous. And you're like, actually, yes, it is, but it's also horrible and difficult in every way, almost every single day, while it's simultaneously magical and beautiful and amazing. You live an expat life, you must just be like Emily in Paris, and you're like, no, that's not the real thing. That's not how it goes.
Those interview clips were from YouTuber Jay Swanson, who has a super interesting video called Why Americans in Paris Hate Emily in Paris. And if you want to check it out, I'll put a link to his video in the description below. Although Emily in Paris isn't for me, it's pretty clear that the show has some people that love it and others that like to hate watch it. Netflix has even realized that there's this massive hate watching crowd that it leaned in on the hate watching by getting two people that live in Paris to react to a few episodes of the show on their channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Emily in Paris, if you're even gonna watch the show. And hopefully I can get back to watching movies soon, cause I live in Canada and unfortunately I can't watch movies right now. At least not in the theater. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Emily in Paris in the comment sections below. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.